The USA are out of the World Cup. They're gone. The Netherlands are through to the quarter-final. What we saw in this game was a tactical masterclass from Louis Van Gaal, one of the great tactical thinkers in football, past and present. This is what his team looked like. A lovely 5-2-1-2 or a 3-4-1-2, whatever you want to call it. But what we really saw in this game, I think, was that Van Gaal had clearly looked at how the USA play, where their strengths and weaknesses are, and how to exploit them. And they did that throughout the game. Now first, let's look at how the Netherlands lined up and what they've been doing in the tournament so far, and what differences we then saw against the USA. So the lineup that he chose for this game against the USA was like this, a back three, and it changes an awful lot. So there's a lot of tactical switches and changearoos that they do in every single game under Van Gaal. Van Gaal is how you say it, really, that's how you're supposed to say it. But there's a front two. Now Memphis, Gakpo and Klaassen. The idea is that Klaassen is both a number 10 and a number 8, so he can drop in between the other two midfielders to make a 3 like this in the midfield, but also he can help to link play in the final third when they go forward, because Memphis and Gakpo are able to go out wide, or they can rotate and swap around, and basically they can dribble with the ball and carry. Now these are the ones who stay up top. They're very much the forwards, these two only. At the back, it changes a lot. Now, Matthijs de Ligt is a very good defender, very lovely centre-back, but he hasn't been playing really. And the reason for that is because Timber can play as a right-back, same as how Nathan Ake can play as a left-back. So the shape changes. Now, Dumfries looks like a wing-back, but actually, he's really a winger. So you have Memphis as a forward, you've got Gakpo as another forward. Dumfries is one of the forward line. He's also one of the defensive line. So he does both things, either a right-back or a right-winger. He's not really usually in this position here, only when they're building from the back, as you drop into this position, we're in the midfield. So Dumfries does that. And if that happens, what tends to then happen is that Timber comes over to be a wide right player. Then you've got Van Dijk will hold in the middle here. Ake can push out wide, so you've got a very wide back three. Another thing they can do is Van Dijk can come across, Ake can come across, or Blind can drop in here. Another thing they can do is that Blind goes wide as well as an extra wide player. Ake goes wide at the left back, Van Dijk's in here, and then what you get is one of De Jong or De Roon. Normally De Jong will drop in to be able to pick up the ball and receive it, and then he can either start linking the play from deep, or he can carry it. He loves doing this, taking the ball and going on a big long adventure up the pitch. That's what he likes to do quite a lot. And the goal that Netherlands scored in this game started with De Jong dropping to this position exactly like this, so he could then run about, pass it. They look a bit like this. Timber goes really wide right, and then you've got Dumfries up high to try and push the team back a little bit. And then De Jong would come in and link it all a little bit, and because they were so deep, they were able to then pass through the lines and get up the pitch. So there's lots of things that the Netherlands are doing in this team that work very cleverly, but what they definitely do is sit back a little bit to try and draw the opposition out, so there is space for them to attack in. And they knew there would be space in certain places against the USA because we've seen it in their previous games. Now, if I look at the passing maps for the USA provided to us by John Muller of The Athletic, subscribe to The Athletic, this is what we see. The USA like to pass and attack out wide, so their players were going to go wide. You see this here? This is them against Wales. This is them against England, passing it wide. So the fullbacks try and get wide, you've got wide players here, everything goes wide, there's very little in the middle, there's no real people here in the middle. And then against Iran, the same thing, everyone's out wide, overloads in wide areas. Now the key to this is that at the base of those wide areas is Tyler Adams. Now, he has had a great World Cup. He's been a really good player for the USA and just generally. And what he does is sits at the base of a midfield three. I'll show you that now. Here is Adams. Great player, plays for Leeds. So he's a kind of a player who likes to break up the play and he can carry it forward, take them up the pitch a little bit. And what USA have is two centre-backs, Riemann Zimmerman, and the full-backs like to get forward. So you've got these players like to get forward, like this. Then you've got the forwards come inside. You've got Pulisic goes inside here, and then you've got wide midfielders who also go up. So they got Musa will go there, maybe McKennie will go like this. So this is the sort of runs you've got. Robinson goes up, Pulisic goes in, Musa goes wide, McKennie goes wide, Dest maybe comes wide, Weah comes wide, and then you also see rotations. So Dest might come inside, and McKennie might go wide, and Weah might swap with Dest. That happened a few times against the Netherlands. That's what they do, and then they've got one central forward. They've played a few different ones. Ferreira didn't play very well. Wright's not been very good. Did score a lovely flick goal in this game. And the other one, Josh Sargent, got injured. So that's what they've had up front. So Adams is absolutely key. He sits at the base of the midfield. I'll give you a little drawing. This is where he is. He's anchoring everything. Now, he's there to break up play, but also to try and start in the first phase of build-up. If they can get the ball into him, he can usually work out what to do, carry it a little bit, fire a pass into someone, take the USA forwards. That's what he does. Then he's at the back if anything comes up. But Van Gaal knew this, and so he put Gakpo and Memphis just a little bit off the two centre-backs. Not trying to press them, just trying to lead them somewhere. Actually, it's this way around, like this. Then you have Adams in the middle. So the idea is that these guys should be able to play through to Adams, but they can't because they're just blocking off that pass in. That's what they're trying to do. Then you've got Blind watching the fullback, making sure he can't get up. Then you've got Daron on the midfielder, and you've got Klaassen staying tight to Adams the whole time. They basically man-marked Tyler Adams out of this game. So USA didn't have their main link, and that meant they then also couldn't get the ball into players like Pulisic or Musa because everyone was blocked. De Jong might go into Musa, Timber on Pulisic. It's kind of a man-to-man system. They're man-to-man because they're so deep that they can afford to do this. Now, this is sort of what they were doing for the game, and it blocked Adams out of the game. I can show you how they did it because you can see it in the eyes of Gakpo when they come forward. This is what the shape looks like. Here's the USA building with two narrow centre-backs. Here's Klaassen marking Adams. There's no ball into this guy. The fullback's pushing up. Anthony Robinson drops back a little bit to give a bit of an option. But here's Gakpo always looking over his shoulder to know where this guy is. So the ball's going to go this side, he goes that way. If the ball's going to the left side, he goes in this way. Here's the same exact example a minute later. Same thing. He's watching him. He knows where he's going. He's telling his teammate to watch out for this run into the space here because Robinson does then get the pass through. And here's one more example from about, I don't know, what's that, 14 minutes later? Good maths. Here's him carrying out again. Adams has got so bored of not getting the ball that he started to go forward. He comes back in to try and receive in this big bit of space, and look who's marking him, Davy Klaassen. So they've got him marked out of the game. That's one of the things that Van Gaal obviously identified and stopped them doing. The other thing they've got is Christian Pulisic, who is the most important player in that USA team, the one most likely to make things happen, and they kept him out of the game. And they do that by stopping Adams being involved, stopping the passes getting into him. And when he's here, you've got Timber right close. You've got players who are stopping him, being able to do that. If the number 9 drops, another thing you see with the Netherlands in this game is that Van Dijk goes slightly far forward. So your back four then looks even a little bit more like this. So you've kind of got that shape. Just tracking players. They're not able to get the ball in, so they can't turn and play. So Pulisic doesn't get time to run at a player and cause any damage. So they eliminated all the USA's threats. They're all gone, and there's no way for the USA to get the ball into the dangerous players that they want. And because the Netherlands are sitting off them, they're attracting the USA out, which is going to leave space in behind, lots of space for the USA, for Netherlands, I should say, to be able to attack if there's a turnover. Now, when they have the ball for the first goal, this is what they're doing. The USA are pushed really far up because they're trying to keep them pressed in their own half so they can win the ball back and try and make something happen. But what you get, like we saw, is the team stretches out, other players push forward, Dumfries goes up, and there's loads of space to play with. So De Jong drops in, takes the ball, is able to work it around. They got the wing here. Timber has to go up, he's closed down, he has to go back. The ball goes back to De Jong. He then turns over to the left side. So they're working the USA from right to left, all the way around. And then what you start getting is the space and the ability for players to run into the space. So Daron, I think what they've got is Memphis pulls out a bit wide here. You get Klaassen, you get Gakpo. Basically, the ball is moved between players. It's really quickly moved. The USA have to adapt and get back as quick as they can. All these players running backwards to try and help defend. But it doesn't matter how fast they go because the Netherlands are a lot faster. And so what you see with the goal is a load of players chasing to get back. The ball goes out wide to Dumfries, who's basically a winger. He's not just a defender, he's basically one of their forward players. So everyone goes forwards, everyone goes forward like this, everyone chases in the USA team, get back into the box. Dumfries has the ball, but then what you have is while everyone else goes forward, Memphis hangs back a little bit, and that's how he has the space. Everyone's going back, he's going against them, that's what he gets the space to score the first goal. It's a brilliant goal. You should watch it if you haven't seen it already, unless you're a USA fan, in which case, burn it. And another tactical thing that Van Gaal definitely planned for here. So the second goal that Netherlands score is a result of having an overload on one side. Daley Blind scores this goal. Now it's a corner, I think it's second phase, but what you get is Memphis, one of the most dangerous players in this Netherlands side, pins himself against the furthest back USA player. So Serginho Dest is right back, he's at the back post, Memphis stands next to him. So that's where he is, and you think, well, he's the most dangerous player, we'll definitely mark him, but it leaves Daley Blind spare here. So when the ball does eventually come in, he is then able to time a run, so he gets into the middle of the pitch where there's no one marking him to be able to finish it. And then the final goal, the one that kills off the entire game, is a wing-back, Daley Blind, crossing the ball in to Denzel Dumfries, another wing-back at the opposite side, and the same thing again. Robinson is looking after Gakpo at the back post, he's got him in his mind, that's what he's looking after. And Dumfries is completely spare. You can see him If you watch the goal back, he's just standing completely in space. No one knows what's going on. Zimmerman and Ream both turn to him and go like, what? Ball comes in and he scores a lovely finish. And that's the USA gone. They're back to America. And the Netherlands march on to the quarterfinals where they'll play someone else. And if you enjoyed that analysis, please do subscribe to our channel if you enjoyed it. And tell all your friends. Enjoy the World Cup.
If you liked today's video, please subscribe to the channel. And if you like Tifo, we think that you'll also like The Athletic. If you want the best news, features and interviews about the World Cup, the Premier League and European football, as well as loads of other sports, The Athletic is the place for you. And as part of our special deal, you can get it for £1 per month for 6 months. See the link in the description.